What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Popcorn Chicken. I'm your host, Elvin. I'm doing this solo now, for now. I've got some of the guys from the team doing projects or they're working. We moved to a new time, new day, and I hope everybody finds us and hangs out with us or hangs out with me for an hour or so and talk about all the cool things from the movie world and the TV show world, all things in Hollywood. We got a good show today. We got a lot of topics to get into. Uh, as you see from the thumbnail, we've got our main topic or topics, uh, and I want to really get into that. I'm excited to talk about those two main topics. But welcome. If you're new here, welcome. Popcorn Chicken. Let's get going here. We always start off the show with what's going on in Hollywood in terms of whose birthday it is, maybe some events, things like that. So we'll start off with a couple here. We'll start off with some birthdays, first of all. Uh, Happy birthday to Mary J. Blige. If you love R&B, hip hop, then you will recognize her. If you don't know her, go check her out on Spotify or iTunes. She's got some great songs. A beautiful singer that did awesome songs like uh, Born in New York City, of course, Be Without You. She's also did acting too as well. So go check her out. Happy birthday to Mary J. Blige. How old is she? Well, I usually have people in our team here guess, but since I'm by myself here, if you're in the chat, you can guess. But I'm going to say it right now here. She is 53 years old. So very young still. Happy birthday. All right, next birthday. Here we go. Next birthday is there's not a whole lot of birthdays this week. It's kind of slim pickings, but I did find a few. I did find happy birthday to J.K. Simmons. If you don't know who that man is, I don't know what to tell you. He's been in a lot of things, movies, TV shows. He's also does voice acting for Omni Man in Invincible. Just a phenomenal actor. I really love this guy as an actor. I think he has so much reach. Like he could do so many different styles of characters. It's really awesome to see this guy at his best. It's just phenomenal. And obviously he's in Spider-Man, the old Tobey Maguire movies, Spider-Man. So yeah, J.K. Simmons, happy birthday. He is 70 years old. Still got it. He was in that movie also with The Rock that came out, Red, Project Red or Red One, I think it was. Yeah, he played Santa Claus in there. He's actually pretty good shape for a guy in his 70s. So yeah, he's going to be doing this, reprising his role as Omni Man next month, I believe, is when Invincible drops. So just an all on awesome actor. So happy birthday to J.K. Simmons. He is 70 years young. All right, next birthday. Let's see, who do we got here? There is, like I said, a slim pickings for this week, but we do have the beautiful Julia Louis Dreyfus, who obviously everybody knows from as Elaine from Seinfeld. One of my favorite shows, a show that I when it first aired wasn't too into it as much, but I got into it, I would say maybe about 10 years ago, and it's just been like a fine wine. It just gets better. It is such a good show. Probably one of the best sitcoms I've watched ever. That is how great it is. So happy birthday to her. She's also in the MCU now. So she's MCU, and she's also did a TV show. Is it Veep? Yeah, Veep. I didn't watch it, but she did that, and SNL, of course. But yeah, she is 63 years young. So happy birthday to her, Louis Dreyfus. Happy birthday to Patrick Dempsey. Obviously, everybody knows him from Grey's Anatomy. I don't watch that show, but I know a million gajillion people do because that show's been around forever. But yeah, happy birthday to Patrick Dempsey. I think the ladies call him McSteamy. I could be wrong. But yeah, he is 58 years young. So happy birthday to Patrick Dempsey. We'll do one more. Why not? One of the one of my favorite actors from one of my favorite movies or trilogy. Happy birthday to Orlando Bloom, who played Legolas in Lord of the Rings, one of my favorite trilogies of all time. He also acted in Pirates of the Caribbean, which was another great. I want to say two movies was good, and then it kind of went over the cliff because they tried to uh, do way too many movies with it and just really saturate that whole IP and made it into trash, in my opinion. But the first two movies were pretty good. I like the first two movies. But happy birthday, Orlando Bloom, who I think after the Pirates of the Caribbean and Lord of the Rings sort of went on a hiatus. I want to say he didn't really land a whole lot of things. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, he could be doing stuff in England or somewhere around the world. But in terms of Hollywood marquee movies or TV shows, not so much. But he is still young. He is actually just turned 47. So he's still young and he's got, maybe a resurgence coming. Who knows? It takes is one hit show and you're right back on in there, right? So a lot of celebrities, they just look for that one big break and they're in there. Yeah, so that is this week's Hollywood birthdays in terms of big ones out there. I'm sure there's more, but we need to move on here. And we have this week events in Hollywood. Again, not much going on in January. Uh, in 2011, Ian McKellen officially confirmed that he will reprise his role as Gandalf. Lord of the Rings connection there again. That was by accident. I swear. I'm not trying to be a big nerd about it. By accident here. Reprised his role as Gandalf in The Hobbit, and he is Gandalf. The one and only Gandalf. He did a great job in everything the Lord of the Rings movies. He was just fantastic, and he was. I really missed those movies. I really wish Amazon cared about Rings of Power as much as Peter Jackson did. I mean, it was not perfect, but it was miles ahead of what Amazon is bringing to us, which is a dumpster fire of a show, in my opinion. They don't have, honest to God, nowhere near the star power or acting power as some of the cast from Lord of the Rings and even The Hobbit. The Hobbit wasn't the greatest. I think it was a step down from a few steps down from Lord of the Rings, but still, the acting was a lot better than I've seen in Rings of Power in the two seasons. It's horrendous. What else is going on in Hollywood here this week? I guess January is a really slow month for Hollywood. They're all resting from partying too hard during the Christmas break. Let's see here. Is there anything even worth mentioning here? Jon Stewart starts The Daily Show in 1999. Wow. What a run that was for John. I can't say I watched a lot of it. I watched a lot of his show, but I did from time to time catch it here and there. But The Daily Show, right? I mean, it's been on for a long time. So yeah, in 1999 is when he started up the show. So, and is he bringing it back? I think he's bringing it back or something. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that show or what's going on with that. YouTube sanctions Logan Paul. Now, I'm not a fan of Logan Paul, nor do I hate the guy. I mean, hey, you do your thing, whatever. I don't care. Logan Paul was sanctioned by YouTube because he vlogged about the infamous 2018 about the suicide victims' bodies in Japan. I found that very disgusting and offensive of what he did. But yeah, that's Logan Paul, and WWE signed him. So yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe he was young and immature. I don't know. I can't. I don't have any excuses for him. I don't back him. I don't know him, and he doesn't care about me. So, but that is what happened in this week in Hollywood. Anything else? True Detectives, the very first True Detectives, in my opinion, probably the best season of True Detectives to this date. I think it was 2014 came down on HBO, and it was a massive hit. Story was phenomenal, very eerie story, and both Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson just phenomenal. The two of them worked really well together, and it was a really, really good show. Last season that they did, I don't know what happened there. I don't know. It just didn't interest me as much. But yeah, True Detectives in 2014 dropped, and really, really good season. And that is it for this week in Hollywood in terms of birthdays and events. Let's get into some news. Some news. There's always news, but there's some news going on. Before we get into our main topic of the week or our show, let's get into some what's going on in Hollywood. There's a bunch of stuff that dropped in the last couple of days, including 2 days ago, where you had actor Rory McCain has been reportedly cast as Balin Skull in Ahsoka 2. As you know, uh, the passing of Ray Stevenson, rest in peace to him. They want to replace him and continue the story, which is the right thing to do. And I'll get into why I say that later on with our main topic. It connects, the two is connected in my thought process of why I think this is the right thing to do. The show must go on. You do it respectfully, of course. You do it respectfully. And I think that, having Rory replace. Now, are they the same type of actors? No. Rory is very, how do you want to say it? Brushed. A very aggressive, because he was one of the characters in Game of Thrones. I can't remember the name of the character, but he was really good. Very good. Not to say that Ray wasn't, but just a little different. He's more of a aggressive type of actor, but very talented. And I think he'll fit right in. He's got the chops for it. I think he's going to be a little bit more aggressive, maybe, but not refined as a Ray was. Ray's, the way his voice and the way he carried himself on screen is more like very Sir like, even though Rory played a knight in Game of Thrones. I think he's going to do just fine. I think he'll do good. He might even improve this show because it desperately needs improvement. Ahsoka is not a good show. It had a couple of good moments, but the show overall is not that good. I think I don't know if he can. I think he make a little bit of improvement, but I don't know if he's going to do enough. I mean, we need the main characters in that show to really step it up. But I don't have any hope for that show. I really don't. I think Ahsoka is going to be season 2 and it's over and good riddance, move on. The best part of that show was when Anakin showed up and had a fight with Ahsoka. I think that was probably the best part of that show. And after that, it was like, whatever. It's just another TV show Star Wars makes that is just half-ass, not well written. The acting is all over the place. There's some good and some bad of the acting, and it's just another line of shows that they have just squandered away and made the IP even more damage was done to that IP than if they didn't even do the show at all. So yeah, Rory McCain is going to be in Ahsoka 2. What else is going on here? There has been news about How to Train Your Dragon, the live action movie. There's been a picture of it. I don't know. I liked the animation. I thought the animation was fantastic. I thought it was really good. Do we need a live action TV show? Maybe. Is it that big of an IP that is warranted? I mean, Universal's really trying to push this IP, and I know why they want to push it, because they're building a giant theme park in Florida, and this IP is going to be front and center with it. They're making a giant How to Train a Dragon roller coaster Obviously, going to sell merch and have some themes related to it. Maybe a Viking bar or something. I don't know. But they're really trying to get this movie to be big because it's going to push people to go to their attraction there. So I get it why they're doing this. Is it a bit too late? I think so. I think with the show and the movies, there's a lot with it. How much more can you do with this than you already did with the animation? The animation, you're allowed to do a lot more than a live action. You're restricted to live action versus animation. So let's see. The dragon is obviously CGI. So I'm wondering how that's going to look in live action. Is it going to mix well or not? Because we've seen live action movies with CGI incorporated, and sometimes it looks really bad and really off. So I'm very interested in seeing this. I probably will check it out because I do like the IP, but I don't know if it's going to give me enough of a difference to say, you know what, this had a little bit of a change of story. It intrigued me. It'll probably be fun. I don't think it's going to be terrible. I think it'll be fun, but I don't know if it was necessary. Uh, we'll see. But that's going to come out, I believe, next year. Um, and they have some pictures of it. And yeah, so How to Train a Dragon. Maybe I could show this picture right here. Let's see. Share screen. Yeah, that'd be great. There you go. How to Train a Dragon. Very interesting. So we'll see. I hope it does good, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for people to say, you know what, I'm going to go spend my money and watch this. All right. Let's get into what else is there here. Oh, we have an upset wrestler. Seth Rollins, if you don't know who that is, he's a WWE wrestler. He was actually playing a character I don't know. I don't know who is he playing, but apparently he said he is not in the new Captain America Brave New World, which by the way has a astronomical budget now. It ballooned over 300 million. This movie keeps getting reshoots, rewrites. As of I believe it was till last month they were still doing rewrites and reshoots for this movie. It is looking to be a disaster of a movie. The budget's too high. It's probably not going to even break even. There's zero traction for this. Nobody's talking about this, except for maybe Disney themselves trying to get it going. But zero traction. There's no hype behind it. Nobody cares. The fact that they put a Red Hulk in there and people still like, cool, okay, whatever. Nobody's like, I haven't heard of, on the YouTube landscape anyone just freaking out about the Red Hulk being on there. It's just looking to be a dumpster fire, looking to be a bomb. I hope it's okay because if that bombs, what are they going to do? Like, I always thought the decision to make Anthony Mackie Captain America was wrong. Not that I don't like Anthony Mackie or I think he's not a good actor. I think he's good, but I just don't see him as Captain America because I fell in love with this Falcon. He was a great actor for Falcon. He was fantastic. He was funny. You know, he did his bits. He has limitations and he showed it. The character showed it and he showed it on screen. I love the banter that he had with Winter Soldier and even Captain America, you know, on your left, all that stuff. I really liked him as that character. I don't think the decision to put him as Captain America was good. And right now, I think Marvel's probably sweating it a little bit, going, yeah, we should have given the shield to, you know, what's his name, who plays Winter Soldier. I just think that you should have changed it up. Yes, in the comic books, you know, you see Falcon as Captain America, but you see that with so many other characters. In the comics, there's a million things that happen. That doesn't mean you bring that into the live screen and think it's going to be great. You change it up sometimes, and they do change it up sometimes, but I just felt that with Winter Soldier, you had more of more runway. You had a more of a reason why you should give him the shield because he made such a huge character arc. He had a huge character arc and change in, you know, from the beginning of Civil War when he was first introduced and into, you know, Black Panther, He was there in Wakanda, rehabbing and changing and getting a brain reset fully, and then him in Infinity War, all the way to even the TV show that he and Anthony Mackie did. I thought they worked really well. That was a decent TV show in terms of the two of them, their chemistry, but the story and the plot line was god awful. But I just thought that decision to give Anthony Mackie's character the shield, in my opinion, I don't think it was a good choice. It was a 50-50, coin flip. They like, who do we give it to? Who do we give? I bet you they were sitting in the writers' room going, who do we give it to? Who do we give it to? And they're like, okay, we'll just give it to him. And it's not paying off right now. Granted, the movie hasn't come out yet and I haven't seen it yet. I just feel that if a Captain America movie's coming out, it should have a lot more buzz than what it is happening right now with this movie. Nobody seems to really care about this, or very few people seem to care about it, and not a lot of chatter is happening. There's not a lot of hype behind it. They still have time right now. What is it? I think they have another month to get the hype going, and let's hope they do. But going back to the original article here, Seth Rollins says he didn't make the final cut. His character he was playing did not make the final cut because of reshoots and rewrites. That's unfortunate, but that kind of stuff happens all the time in Hollywood. There's a lot of people who are paid to act and they do their acting and film it and everything, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, we're editing you out, sorry. So yeah, unfortunately Seth Rollins is not gonna be in the new Captain America movie. What else is going on here? Christopher Nolan. I just saw an article earlier about Christopher Nolan. I'm just trying to find it, but apparently his next movie is going to be the most expensive movie made. I don't know about ever, but it's going to be really expensive, and he doesn't care. And if I am a studio and I'm giving him that kind of money, do I worry? The movie is called The Odyssey. Will have a $250 million budget, which is one of his most expensive. Sorry, not the most expensive movie ever. Most expensive movie for him. $250 million budget, which is kind of low these days if you look at it, right? I mean, we had Indiana Jones that spent $500 million, I think, on everything, advertising, all that, which was a disaster. And I call that, by the way. I knew it's going to be a disaster. But $250 million budget, that seems like a bargain in this day and age in Hollywood, because the prices of making a movie has just ballooned, and for all the wrong reasons. They're overpaying, I think, for a lot of things. Like, some of the actors are just getting way too much money. I think studios need to wake up and realize they need to curb. Hello, Tony, how you doing? So yeah, I think some of the actors need to get a wake up call here in terms of how much they're getting paid. 500 million is just ridiculous to do a movie. But hey, if we keep paying those tickets and going to watch them, they're going to keep getting paid those big dollars. But yeah, Christopher Nolan said The Odyssey will have a $250 million budget, one of his most expensive films ever. I'm very interested in. I love Christopher Nolan's movies. A lot of his movies are some really good. Dunkirk, obviously the Batman trilogy. So I think he's a phenomenal director, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing this is what it's all about, and I think he'll do great. Let's hope. He's on a good run. What else we got here? If you're into horror stuff, which I am not, but if you are into it, do you remember those movies with Winnie the Pooh being a murderer killer? The Pooh verse. Wow, that sounds so strange. But the Pooh verse, it's going to have some friends hanging out with them. Peter Pan is going to join this demented, twisted universe. It's called Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmares. So if you're into Peter Pan and you're into these horror types of shows, well, there's a movie for you to go and consume. It's kind of set in the Poohverse, so I guess it's a giant universe they're trying to create with all these terrible people or terrible versions of Disney characters. It's gonna follow Peter Pan as a demented child napper, uh, hell bent on sending young boys to Neverland. Wasn't that the original plot line, anyways? Forcing kids to go to Neverland and never letting them come out of there, making them forget. Tinkerbell is a heroine by Peter Pan, which he calls pixie dust. So okay, yeah, I'm not into this kind of stuff, but hey, there you go. Peter Pan's Neverland: A Nightmare is going to be joining the Pooh verse. That's very disturbing. But yeah, which I guess you can look forward to that if you're into that kind of stuff. What else is going on here? Cynthia Iravo says she wants to play Storm. I'm going to put this picture up just so you guys know who she is. She is from that movie Wicked. I have not seen that movie, so I can't really say anything about it. But Cynthia says she wants to play Storm in the MCU. If you're not familiar who Storm is in the MCU, she's part of the X-Men. She can manipulate weather, and she is from Africa. So there's a connection there, maybe of Black Panther. In the comics, they were an item at some point in some of the storylines. But Cynthia wants to play Storm. I don't know. I haven't seen anything of hers, including Wicked. I have not, so I don't know if she's a good actor or not. But I wouldn't have had her as my first choice. Do I have anybody as my first choice? Yes, I do, right here. DeWanda Weiss, who was in Jurassic. Storm, I think, has to be very, very strong looking. And I don't just mean in looks. Like, she's got to have the eyes because, I mean, yeah, you can see GI eyes and all that, but she's got to have that. She's got to have it. And whether it be just, not just looks, but she's got to have the voice and she's got to have that old English, like Storm, has that very iconic speaking type of mannerism, and she carries herself. So she's got to be strong right off the gate. I don't know if What's Her Face has that. I think she's a mid in terms of her acting. Maybe I don't know. She just doesn't look to me like a Storm. I don't think she has it out. Granted, Wanda was not that great either in acting in Jurassic World, but that would be mine in terms of look and maybe presence on screen. She's got to be powerful, have that powerful presence and command. When she walks in that room, everyone's got to have to turn and look at her, right? And I think she might be better. I'm sure there's other people that are going to be auditioning too that I had not even thought of, but let's see what Marvel comes up with. This is the characters you pick in X-Men you have to nail it because it's such a famous team. Whether it be Wolverine, obviously they nailed it with Hugh Jackman, but he's going to be gone, right? So whoever's going to play that role, you've got to nail Wolverine, you've got to nail Storm, Cyclops, Rogue, Gambit. You got to hit a home run on these guys. It has to be well thought out. It shouldn't be like, hey, you know what? We're going to think of going this direction rather than following what we see and hear and learn from the comics about the makeup of those characters. And I know they're going to try doing that with at least one of these characters. They're going to try to go left field when they shouldn't. And I can't stand it when studios do things like that. It just drives me nuts. Like, why are you trying to piss us off? Why? We comic nerds just want you to do right, please. But they always do something. So I'm expecting one of these characters just be off left field and not good. And it's just going to just drive me nuts. But hey, that's Hollywood. All right, what else we got going on here? But I mean, you guys can let us know in the comment below. What do you guys think? Did you think Cynthia is the front runner? You think in your mind to be Storm, or do you have any other actors? I mean, Halle Berry still looks great. Oh my god, she still looks great, and she could still probably act as Storm right now. She's got probably one of the greatest genetics I've ever seen of somebody. She doesn't age. She was in the John Wick movie just a few years ago, and she looks like she was the same in 20 years ago as an actress. She just doesn't age. Just absolutely natural beauty. Just amazing. Let's see here. What else we have? We we have Warner Brothers is marketing chief behind major campaign, including Barbie promotion, is stepping down. Yeah, so John Goldstein, the Warner Brothers marketing chief, is stepping down. I wonder why someone would leave a prominent position, a well-paying position. What could be stirring? Nobody just steps down. Interesting. Just another one bites the dust, probably, right? Sonic 3 has become the second highest grossing video game adaptation in the US. So, yeah, go Sonic. There was rumors saying that Disney was really pushing theaters to pump out Mufasa, have more theater halls playing Mufasa than Sonic. They wanted to curb that. Don't know if that's true or not, but there was a rumor circling on the internet about that where Disney was just bullying theaters to push out Mufasa instead of Sonic. From all accounts, a lot of people like Sonic. They've enjoyed watching it. They're really trying to push more Sonic now. There's already plans. I mentioned a few weeks ago in early December that there's plans for Sonic 4 already. Before Sonic 3 even came out, they were already planning on Sonic 4. I think you should kind of pump the brakes here a little bit and go, hold on here. Let's not water down our product here. Let's breathe a little bit. And that seems when obviously when something makes money, the studios run and say, let's crank out another. And you often have, a couple of good movies, and then all of a sudden people are like, okay, we're kind of getting fatigued with this, and then it just drops off a cliff. So I don't know why they're doing another one right away. They should kind of let it breathe a little bit, give it some time. But I don't know. I feel want that money, and maybe they signed a 2-year deal with Jim Carrey saying, hey, we need you to do a movie right away, because Jim Carrey doesn't really want to do movies anymore. And he already came back because he always was on. He's like, I need the money. But I don't know if he really needs the money. Maybe he just said it. But we'll see. Sonic 4 is already slated to come out in 2027, I believe. So we'll see. But the Sonic 3 has done well, and it's on digital, and has been doing some good numbers. So that's good for Sonic. All right. Let's get into our main. Well, there's two main topics. We'll get into one of them right now. You can visit, if you want to see some of these topics, the blogs that the awesome Carolina in our team writes, you can go to our website at astonishing.news, and I will bring that up right now. And go check out some of the topics that I'm talking about here. Our first of the two main event topics is, could Jason Momoa as Lobo be a game changer for DC Universe? So, it was announced around Christmas time that James Gunn has decided to make Jason Momoa Lobo. If you don't know who Lobo is, well, there's a picture of him on the left there, the comic book version. Lobo is how you would say a space traveling biker with a cigar and dreadlocks. That's Lobo in a nutshell. He's very powerful. He's very strong. He's a bounty hunter. So he gets paid by people to go around traverse the galaxies and find his victim or his bounty and bring it to whoever is going to give him the money. So very brash, very rude, very aggressive type of character. He's not a bad guy. He's an opportunist. I'm here just for the money. I'm not good or bad. I have a job to do. Someone's paying me a lot of money, and I'm going to go do it. And that's it. Whether you're good or bad to my client, I don't care. So I'm just here to do mine. So Jason Momoa has been cast as him. I think, in my opinion, is probably a better fit to play Lobo Jason is than he was with Aquaman. I did not see him as Aquaman. Even when they put on that updated armor with him, it was a good armor. Don't get me wrong, very scaly, shiny. I still did not see him as Aquaman. No way, no how. I've got Aquaman pictured because of the comic books. Aquaman for the longest time was very, how would I say it, Caucasian, blue eyes and blonde hair, Atlantean, half human. That's who Aquaman has been for me in the comic books for a long time. I still embrace Jason as Aquaman. I didn't hate it, but at the same time, I thought they could have done a lot better. But this choice of him being Lobo, chef's kiss. This is right up, I think, Jason's wheelhouse. I think he will succeed and do a great job as Lobo. And so I'm happy that James Gunn has made this choice. How is Lobo gonna fit? Let's find. I hope he fights Superman. That will be awesome if he fights Superman, because that's gonna be fun times. Because I've seen that in the animation and it's fun. So Jason Momoa as Lobo as a game changer. Is it a game changer altogether? I think it's a step in the right direction, because already James Gunn is fighting up a hill. He's already having the Snyderverse clan or group or fanboys going after him, saying that, from everything that's like pseudo Superman is garbage. They don't like the whole look of Guy Gardner, even though that looks exactly like Guy Gardner from the comic books. They're asking why there's so many people in this movie. That is something that's common that I've seen from a lot of people, whether you're a Snyder fan or not. A lot of people are worried about too many people in this Superman movie. There's way too many characters. But if there's one thing James Gunn can do, is he can do a movie filled with characters. Just go take a look at Guardians of the Galaxy. You can't get more different than each character in that group is so different. And he is able to give each one of them their, day in the sun. I think he can pull it off. I'm going to go see it. I have my reservation. Will it be a great movie? I don't know. I've seen the teaser trailer. I hate teaser trailers. Just give us a trailer. But I've seen the teaser trailer, and I have some reservations. I have some hope. We need this. If you're a DC fan, you need this. I'm a DC fan. I mean, I love Marvel too. I love all of the stuff. But why would you not want positivity? Would you not want this to do well? If this does well, you get a whole bunch of other new characters who've probably never seen the light of day, like Booster Gold, Lobo. Just talking about something like we never seen live action Lobo. We've seen him in a TV show, but not in a movie. But that would be awesome. We get to flush out some amazing. DC has such a huge library of cool characters that need to be brought out in live action. I would love to see Booster Gold. I think he would be awesome. If you don't know who that is, go look it up. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like I said, he does fit the mold. This character is built for him. It's built for Jason Momoa to excel in. If he doesn't do good in this character, I don't know then. I don't know where to begin with that, like why and how it failed. It's just design. I mean, here's a Boss Logic, if you know him online, does great renders of potential, characters. There he is right there, a rendition of what Jason Momoa could look like as Lobo. Freaking fantastic. If they get 80% of this on screen, sign me up. I'm in. Just sign me up. Yeah, balancing, recasting. I mean, this is a great article here. I would like, if you have a chance, go ahead and read this article by Carolina, who works weekly, drops articles weekly on our website at astonishing.news. So you can go check that out. And there's more depth to this article, but in my opinion, I think it is a right step in the direction. Long ways to go. long ways to go before we can say that this is better or has better chance of long growth and longevity than Snyderverse. Look, I understand if you're a Snyderverse fan. I don't know why you like your stuff, but hey, it's your thing. If you do, whatever, that's great. But if you guys are thinking that Snyderverse is going to come back some way, I hate to break it to you, it's not happening anytime soon. I don't think it's going to ever happen, but never say never. Um, because Warner Brothers is in debt. Warner Brothers owes so much money. They're in the negative. They're not going to go take a risk, which is why they axed Snyder in the first place, because the movies were trending downwards. It's getting terrible reviews. It's funny how when it all got shut down, then the Snyderverse fans came out thumping and screaming and being all angry about it. But how come a lot of people didn't go watch these movies? If there's so many of Snyderverse fans, why did his movies bomb? Why did they not do well? Why did every movie after Superman, which by the way, the first Superman movie that he did with Henry Cavill was a pretty good movie. I didn't like the ending, but it was a pretty good movie. It had some flaws here and there. But after that, Batman versus Superman, Justice League, yeah, you can factor in, COVID, you can factor in, you know, issues with Warner Brothers trying to have, you know, changes of scripts, editing. You can make all the excuses you want, but the movie started falling apart. The whole cinematic universe that he was putting together was not doing well. I just mentioned Jason Momoa, in my opinion, did not do well, not just him, but the movies itself, Aquaman, both Aquaman movies were not that great. The last one was just horrendous. It was so bad. And you could see with the critics and the fans um, giving it just terrible marks. Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, great selection to play Wonder Woman, but the second movie again, terrible. So you look at terrible movies after terrible movies are dropping, terrible in terms of writing and revenue. What do you think Warner Brothers is going to do? Say, oh, you know what, Snyder, just keep going at it, keep doing it. Eventually, you'll get it right. When you're losing millions and millions of dollars, you got to pull the plug and try something else. James Gunn, I had mentioned a year, I think, or two before, and if I had to pick when I said it, I remember saying it on our Monday show. Um, to my partner D, we do our Monday show. I mentioned to him at the time, I said, if I was asked that question, who would you pick to kind of lead the charge? I said it'd be James Gunn. I think he has it in him. The man is obviously very brilliant. He took an IP like Guardians of the Galaxy and made it one of the most popular movies in the MCU. I mean, it's up there, right? So I have more faith with him than I have with Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder, he just did that Star Wars Rebel Moon, whatever it was, spinoff or Star Wars ripoff. Rebel Moon was god awful, both part one and two. I couldn't even get through it all. That's how bad it was. It was god awful. So I sit here and go, okay, Snyder fans, explain to me why you'd want someone like him continuing into the DC universe. Just god awful choices. And I'm not trying to pick a fight here with Snyderverse people. If you want to pick a fight, go ahead. You can comment in the comment section below. But I'm just saying, I'm looking at it from like, hey, where do I want to go with? Do I want to go with the guy who's made Rebel Moon to do DC more movies in DC universe, or do I want to go with James Gunn, who's done Guardians of the Galaxies 1, 2, and 3, and they're all great movies. 3 being probably the weakest of the all of them, but still, nevertheless, still good. I look at it that and I'm going, okay, I'm probably going to go with James Gunn, and that's what I'm doing. I'm hitching my right ear. I'm not saying that he's going to hit a home run here. We don't know yet. We got to see this movie. Superman has to be good. If it's not good, whoa, watch out, Warner Brothers. You might have to sell your business. That's how important this movie is, and I think James Gunn knows that. And it has to do good. But decision like this, where hey, not getting rid of Jason, but giving him an opportunity to do something that's more in line with maybe his looks and his sort of persona. And I think that's good. He's recognized that he's not Aquaman, he can't be Aquaman, but just give him something here. Now, I'm not happy that they recasted Superman. Henry Cavill was, in my opinion, probably next to Christopher Reeves, a really good Superman. Richard Donner was obviously not bad, but I really liked him as Superman. I was kind of upset they let him go, and then they picked David Cornsweet, who, all respect, I haven't seen him in anything. I felt like he's sort of like, it's a mean thing to say, but like a Wish.com Henry Cavill, but he could prove me wrong. And I hope he proves me wrong because he needs to prove me wrong. He needs to prove a lot of people wrong that he is a good replacement as Superman. But the boy needs to go to the gym and bulk up a little bit more if he's going to play that character. There's complaints and people out there saying, "Hey, look, the suit looks kind of too, open, loose, and not as tight. Wish he had gone to the gym more." But hey, let's see. Maybe he works his way up, hits the gym, and the next movie he's even more buff, more stronger. We will see. We will see. I have veered way off, but it's all connected to this story. DC Universe. Jason Momoa as Lobo, good choice, and it thinks the right direction. Let's see. Game changer, yet to be determined. Depends. It all depends. I don't want him to have his own separate movie, though. I would like to have him first appear in someone else's movie, and then maybe the Avengers or Lobo or something like that, because people do love the anti-heroes, right? So we'll see. All right. On to our second main event. When I heard this, I had a smile on my face, but I also had a little bit of sadness to it. Recently, Marvel has decided they're going to bring Black Panther back. No, not Shuri, the Black Panther, or the kid in the movie of Wakanda. If you haven't seen Black Panther 2, then, spoilers. He has a son at the end, T'Challa. But they're bringing Black Panther T'Challa back into the MCU. But they didn't do it from Secret Wars, where it's going to be an alternate universe, which the alternate universe stuff here is really annoying me now. I used to like it. I'm like, oh, awesome, different universes, different characters. But all they're doing is just bringing back and fixing. They're using it as more of a tool to fix everything, which is fine, I guess, but you're also tarnishing things that are already done. And when I heard this, and the news is here is, which the article is written by the awesome Carolina. You can go check out the article as well. Read more at astonishing.news. She is mentioned here. Marvel Studios may recast T'Challa. It's not a may anymore, I think. It's more like, yeah, they are. So there was a actor that was presented this role, and the actor turned it down. Don't know who the actor is, but there was a rumor suggested that an actor was asked this, a younger actor, and they turned it down. They didn't want to because they felt that at that stage in their career, they didn't want to do this character. That might be a major mistake for that actor, I think, because you go and ask people like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt. Go ask these guys. Those Marvel movies that they did made them the most money they have made ever. Robert Downey's done other movies. Chris Pratt's done other movies. They all have done other movies, but they've never made, from what I know, the amount of money they made playing their characters in MCU. They made a boatload of money, like generational amount of money. Their great grandkids will have that money. So they have decided they're going to cast T'Challa from the Secret Wars alternate universe. What that is the upcoming Secret Wars movie where they have their version of the Avengers Infinity War. That's their Secret War, is where they're going to have all these universes kind of collide into one. Marvel wants to have all these characters come into one universe. So they're going to have as an out to bring T'Challa back into the MCU, which is a lazy way to patching things up for the mistakes they've made in the past. The time, after when the world was announced that, Chadwick was passed away. Chadwick Boseman was passed away. I mean, I was like just devastated when I heard that. I'm like, that's just crazy because I really enjoyed his acting as Black Panther. I thought he was phenomenal, and he really elevated that character. I made Black Panther like up there with the Holy Trinity, which is Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. And I thought this character and the whole world building of Wakanda and everything was done really well. You really, when you went into Wakanda in the Black Panther movie, you really felt you're in a secret country with top level technology, just like in the comics. It came to life, and I really, really enjoyed, seeing that all come out. The interaction and the banter with, Captain America, the challenge of Civil War was a great movie where they went head to head. The arc of I spoke earlier about Bucky, Winter Soldier, going from Black Panther's enemy to becoming a reclamation project in Wakanda and becoming an ally and almost brothers in arms kind of thing. That was such an awesome arc to get from Civil War to Infinity War was such an awesome journey for all these characters like Captain America, Black Panther, and Winter Soldier. And so it was devastating to hear that he passed away. And I remember at the time when we were discussing this, what would the solution be? This is prior to Marvel announcing their going forward, what they're going to do. I suggested they would go the route of James Bond, which is to cast somebody else in that role. James Bond has been going on for 40 plus years. And every few movies, everyone gets a chance to do 2-3 movies. If it's good, maybe 4. If it's bad, maybe 1 or 2. But they would cast him, that character. They would cast someone else to play that character, and that kept that character going for all these decades. And I felt that they should have done that too. And people obviously went in arms when other people suggested that same thing. Oh, how dare you disrespect Chadwick? It's such, it's too soon, this and that. Well, we found out that Chadwick's family actually said that one of his wishes was to keep that character going, that don't allow my death be the end of T'Challa in the MCU. He said that to his family, who then echoed that to Marvel. But Marvel's like, no, we're not going to do that. Kevin Feige's like, no. He came out and said, no, we're shelving T'Challa. We're going to go a different route. And then they went with Shuri being the Black Panther. Now, Black Panther 2, in my opinion, was another dumpster fire of a movie. It was absolute garbage. Way too many things going on. They bring in Neymar and totally flip the script on him, change his origin story, and then they give him a character. They name him Namor. I'm sorry, it's not Namor, it's Neymar. And how dare you change that from us who read it? I read that comic book when I was 10 years old, and I thought, oh my god, from Atlantis. At that time, hearing things from these crazy places like Atlantis, your eyes open up as a kid and want to know more. The myth about it and everything. And then you have a comic book character that's from there, and then they go and change it all. And I was just like, what are you doing? But anyways, they brought in this character who is a very powerful character. And he just gets destroyed by Shuri, who's not even trained fighter. She is Tony Stark of Wakanda. She is a brilliant, intelligent scientist, engineer, all of that. She's just super smart. And they make her into a fighter. And I just thought that was such a weak decision. Shuri being weak, but this idea of making her Black Panther. Yeah, I know the comics they did that, but that doesn't mean that it translates into the movies and the direction you're going. Does that mean it translates that you should do it then? If it doesn't work, why would you try to shoehorn it in there? Mbaku, I think, would have been a good choice to be sort of like the fit in person if you really, really needed to. But I just felt that they should have done the James Bond route and had someone else cast. If they felt that it was too soon, they should have shelved that movie, put it on ice. Hey, it's a little too soon. Let's give it another year to breathe here. We'll recast the character and then do right by his last, his wishes of T'Challa. Because I feel that's the best way to honor somebody when they asked for that too. Let's honor what he asked. Make that public. Have his family make that statement that he would definitely want T'Challa to continue forward. And so we lost T'Challa for so long. And I really missed that character. The other thing that Marvel and Kevin Feige and his bunch of misfits decided to do was think that Phase 3 and 4 did not need legacy characters. When you remove Captain America, when you remove Iron Man, when you remove Black Panther, you replace them with who? Captain Marvel? Ant-Man? Who else? You're replacing him with these legacy characters with this lesser unknown characters like Vision. What? Really? And then you're like wondering why 3 and 4 has been an unmitigated disaster financially, storytelling. All it has just been complete disasters. Why? Because you chose B-list characters to prop up your MCU. They were riding high because of Phase 1 and 2 did amazing numbers, just gangbusters. They were riding high on that. They thought they could do no wrong. Fans will just show up in droves regardless of what we throw at them. Taika Waititi's like, you know what? I'm going to do the same Thor movie again, but this time it's going to be even more quirky and stupid. And what happened to that movie? A disaster of a movie as well. And then he ran away too because he took his money bags and said, see ya. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm out of here. I'm a one-trick pony. And so I just feel that, did anybody even notice Phase 3? When they said Phase 3 is over, I'm like, when did it even start? Because I don't even remember. They said, oh, it started in Black Panther 2. I'm like, that's your entry point into Phase 3. Good. Oh, amazing. And yeah, I just feel that now they've realized it and going, oh my God, we made a colossal mistake and we need to bring some of these legacy characters back. Now, bringing Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom is not exactly bringing Iron Man or Robert Downey Jr. back into the MCU. It's a cheap way to do it. And the fanboys out there were losing their you-know-whats. Oh my God, he's back. He's back. Yeah, he's back as Doom. Don't get me wrong. I love Robert Downey Jr. I think he's a phenomenal actor. Doom? I've got my reservation. I don't think he's got it. I'm going to just be out here and say it right now. I don't think he has what it is to be Dr. Doom. And I hope that character somehow disappears and we get a real Dr. Doom, I guess, maybe down the road. But yeah, just how are they going to do this? I mean, what is the point then now of having that kid in the movie? Because the whole idea is this kid going to grow up and be the next Black Panther, right? That was sort of like their way of saying, okay, we'll meet everybody halfway here. We won't try to ruin T'Challa's legacy. That was Chadwick that he made. But we'll also won't get rid of the Black Panther itself. We'll have the next version, T'Challa Jr., if you want to call it. But now that's probably not going to be the case. So they're going to bring T'Challa in. What does that mean now for the Black Panther whole legacy? What does that mean? Like, now you have somebody else who wasn't connected to anything Black Panther did in the other movies. It's a whole new character. We as audience are going to say, well, he can't have the same connection with Shuri and have the feelings of this universe because he's not from here. He's from somewhere else. So how is that all going to make sense? How is that all going to continue forward? The emotions, the impact, the storytelling that was done in the past. Is it an exact mirror in his universe? Exact same things happened? It just, if they just gone the route of having these characters casted, after their time is done, you wouldn't have these problems. Why would they not do this is beyond me, because you want these characters to last for a long time. But in real life, the actors get older and they're not going to be able to play this forever. So why not have this in place? Say, you know what, every 3 or 4 movies, when this actor is done their job, we're going to move on to somebody else to play that role. That way, we just continue these legacy characters going forward. Keep having Captain America, keep having Iron Man. You know, the Captain America, not Falcon turning into Captain America. Continue that going forward, because in the comics they've been going on for over 100 years almost, right? So why not continue doing that? Well, not 100 years, probably like 60, 70 years, but why not just continue doing that and just keep turning that money, keeping the legacy characters going? If you're afraid that there'll be a dip in performance from Robert Downey Jr. to the next Iron Man, well, it's a lot better than what's going on right now, where there is. I'd rather have somebody be second best to Iron Man than to have no Iron Man. At least I have Iron Man in my stories. And that, again, that's just my thought on it. You might disagree, and if you do, let me know in the comments. Do you agree with that? Do you think that going the James Bond route is the right way they should have done it? It should have been the right way that they should have done that, or do you believe that you just cast different characters, bring in different characters? Because even though Marvel has a ton of characters, there are only certain ones that it's going to move the needle. I mean, go ask Sony. They decide to put Craven, Morbius, Madam Web. Oh God. I mean, just saying that, I'm like, how can they even do this? They decided to do those characters and give them their own movies. And what happened? They couldn't carry it, right? Because not everybody out there is going to go and spend their money on a Craven movie. Heck, even nerds who read comic books probably didn't want to go to that movie. They're like, no, I'm not going to go spend my money to go see Craven. Spider-Man's not even in it, which is another thing that I can get into another day and go on forever. But having Spider-Man not in these movies massively hurt Sony's chances of getting anything out of these movies, even getting a small profit. So that's that. I definitely like the article that Carolina wrote here. You guys can definitely check it out. But Multiverse Black Panther, I think it's they're trying to play catch up now. They're like, oops, we screwed up. We better fix this now. And okay, let's multiverse this thing, because everything's multiverse nowadays to fix things, right? They're going to bring the X-Men in. They're going to bring Fantastic Four in. Fantastic Four is another thing, another movie I think might bomb. The fact that they chose a female Silver Surfer when they had female hair and like Nova, you could have definitely picked that character to play a Herald in the Fantastic. But like, no, let's go and piss off more nerds and more comic book fans by getting a female Silver Surfer in there. You had all these choices, but you decided to piss off and make the most unpopular choice. That is what's wrong with the MCU right now. That is why they're in the trenches, trying to dig themselves out. Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, is another terrible decision. She herself was on the red carpet saying, yeah, if they want me back, I'll come back. Why would you say, let's double down and give her her own movie again? And that was another disaster. It made what, $50 million only? $50 million for a Marvel movie. If you had said that to me 10 years ago, that there's going to be a Marvel movie and it's going to only make $50 million, I would have laughed at you and said, are you kidding me? Look at what they're doing right now. They're doing 800, 900 billion dollar movies. 50 million? Get out of here. That's what I would have said to you. Lo and behold, here we are, right? It's because somewhere Kevin Feige and his band of misfits decided, you know what, we're just going to throw things at the wall. And if it sticks, great, because we're playing with house money right now. Well, that house money is drying up real quick. They're in the negative. Disney's stocks are down. They're losing money across the board in all of their IPs, whether it be Star Wars, Marvel. I mean, they're losing money. Disney Plus, the streaming platform itself, losing money, right? Theme parks, losing money. So it all comes down, these small decisions have a huge impact, right? So going back to this, I don't know how I veered off, but I do. going back to this, at the end of the day, I think it's a bit too late, but it's better than nothing, right? We finally get Black Panther T'Challa back, which should have been always the case. It's the one and only. If they cast Storm in the X-Men, there might be opportunity down the road for a crossover, right? To make them an item, maybe. Who knows? But what do you do with that kid now, right? Going back to what do you do with that little kid that is supposed to be T'Challa Jr.? Does the merging of all the universes kind of remove some characters, a la like the Thanos snap, where some characters kind of disappear and you get a whole new universe, a whole new world where nobody knew what happened in the past. Everyone has no idea, and you just kind of carry forward with all these characters in one universe that finally Disney gets to have everybody in there. The Fantastic Four, X-Men, Avengers, maybe Spider-Man, get everybody all into one encompassing universe. We'll see. There is fatigue kicking in right now because people are getting tired with these terrible movies. Are they going to be like, the cowboy genre where it's going to be good for a good couple of decades and then, walk right into the sunset? So we'll see how long the superhero hype continues to go. It is floundering right now, big time. So let's see what Marvel does with T'Challa. Will be definitely, I'll be definitely reporting as the minute they decide to cast somebody. I do have a choice for someone to be cast. Denzel's son, I can't remember, Washington something. I remember his name. That would be my pick for Black Panther. I think he has the chops. He has the experience too. He's done a lot of stuff. He would need to bulk up just a little bit up, but I mean, you could do that probably in post as well. But he would be my choice to be the next version of T'Challa. But there's always going to be Chadwick. I mean, that bar is high. If he gets even close to that, then that's all we can ask for. But rest in power to Chadwick Boseman, the one and only Black Panther. And with that, I would like to say happy weekend to everybody out there. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Hope you enjoyed this show. I'm doing solo, so come by, say hi to me once in a while. Like, Tony said, hey, dude, come by, say hi to me. Don't be shy. We're doing Fridays at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time for now. That time might change, but day might stay the same. And once in a while, I think the team said they might come and join me and hang out with me if they're not busy doing other things like work. Ugh. But hope you guys have a good weekend. If you're new here, subscribe. Everybody that watches this video later on, I hope I'm entertaining you, providing you some information. If you have some thoughts, leave us in the comments. I love to hear them. I love reading those comments. And hit the like button. A quick little click makes a little difference for me. A big difference for me, not a little difference, sorry. Big difference for me. I appreciate everybody. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday at 7:30 p.m. or sorry, 8 p.m. Pacific time, but that time will change eventually. 8:30 p.m. Pacific time on Monday with my friend D. I also have a Sunday show regarding Silo. Silo is a fantastic. If you're looking for a TV show, Silo is a fantastic TV show on Apple TV. Me and my friend Sheldon will be breaking it down. That is going to be a morning show. Look for that. We'll post that time tomorrow evening, but look for that. It's going to be a fun show. We're going to be breaking down Silo's last 3 episodes. We were watching it over the Christmas holiday, so we're going to break it down. This show is a great show, and it is ending off with a banger right now. Last episode was chef's kiss. Really, really good. So check us out on Sunday and Monday. All right, everybody. Have a good one.